Most coaches, consultants, and service providers don't actually have a business. They have a high stress freelance job. Their money comes from referrals, networking, content, and constant hustle. And whenever you stop pushing, the revenue stops too. So every month feels like starting over. You post, you sell, you deliver, and then that cycle repeats over and over again. Even if you've crossed six figures, it doesn't get any easier. The problems just get bigger. More clients mean more complexity, mean more chaos, means more pressure. Even though the business grows, it still depends entirely on you. And that's the moment that most entrepreneurs realize something really uncomfortable. The problem isn't how much effort they're putting into their business. The problem is the infrastructure that it sits on. Because real businesses don't grow from hustle. They grow from systems. Systems that can attract clients consistently. Systems that can convert those clients. Systems that deliver results over and over again. Once those systems exist, growth stops being random and starts becoming predictable. My name's Justino Rodriguez, and that's exactly what we start building in Cap Builders. Why should you listen to me, you ask? Let me tell you a little bit about some of the work that I've been doing with clients to help them scale by implementing these types of systems. I worked with a school community very recently and helped them scale from 18K they were stuck on for months, helped them scale to $43,000 in several weeks of working with them, and then surpassing that vaunted $100,000 a month earning goal that got them their first $1 million year. I've worked with brick and mortar retailers, opening them from zero revenue, taking them to $1.2 million a year in only 8 months. I've even worked with larger scale retailers and larger scale businesses, taking them from already respectable and established 1.6 million all the way to 5.4 million in 18 months. But that's not to say those are the only types of entrepreneurs I've worked with. I've also worked with those just starting out, helping consultants scale from 0 to 15K a month in 45 days, helping them set up the systems that help transform their business and get things off the ground. I've also worked with consultants and service providers, helping them to be able to sell their first $25,000 packages. Me, myself personally, I've sold packages and programs anywhere from $10,000 to $30,000. Now, one of the things I've learned through this process is that the illusion of growth is just the cycle of starting over unless you have systems in place to allow you to grow and scale sustainably. The founder works harder and harder every year, but the business never becomes predictable. You have one good month now, two slow months, followed by 2 good months, followed by another few slow months. You have random marketing, which means random sales, which means custom delivery, where you have to change your service and what you're providing each time you get a different customer. All of this leads to burnout, and it leads to your work being capped at whatever hours you have in the day. The problem isn't the effort you're putting in. The problem is your infrastructure. You do not have a marketing problem. You have a capacity problem. Your income is capped by your time, your attention, and your energy. Until systems replace effort, growth eventually collapses. That's why you see so many talented founders stuck at 50K, 100K, or even 300K a year. They're stuck there for years because their system does not allow them to scale. Their time, the attention, and energy eventually reaches a point where they reach their limit of capacity. Without systems, they cannot scale. Before the business scales, and this is really important and a really hard thing that most founders have, they have to look at themselves in the mirror. You as a founder must evolve. You must build your capacity in order to build capital that compounds, right? As you start out, technicians, right? When you're starting out, you sell your time for money. Once you grow and scale, you become a consultant who can sell their expertise. But the person you want to be is an architect who builds the systems in your business. When your systems expand your capacity and your ability to do more work because you are doing high leverage tasks, you're not stuck in the mud because you have systems in place, the capital follows. Not because you're hustling harder, but because the machine you've installed in your business works. Now, to take a step back, it's important that you understand that every successful business has the following 3 engines installed in their business. The first one up is an attraction engine, right? Which creates predictable demand over and over again, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And then once you bring those people into your ecosystem, you convert those people by getting their demand turned into revenue, by being able to make your offer to them and sell them on it and close them on it. And so you have a conversion system in place, a sales system, a sales process. Once you have that, it's up to you to fulfill and deliver that service, deliver that offer, deliver that dream outcome. And what that does is once you fulfill on your offer to get the customer whatever transformation, whatever product, whatever dream outcome you are selling, you create client results, and that gives you proof to start the process all over again. What we do here at Cap Builders is we help you to install a business operating system that turns that expertise into a scalable business. You stop relying on random content and inconsistent sales. Now, you have the infrastructure of a real company because I talked to you about these different engines, the attraction engine, the conversion engine, and the fulfillment engine. Each one of these has systems in place. Most important for the attraction system, you need to understand your market. Who is your ideal customer profile? Who is the person you are selling to? What pain do they have? What desire do they have for the product you are selling? What problem does it solve in their life? Based on that, you create authority content, which demonstrates your capacity and your expertise and your ability to either have solved that problem for other people previously, whether it be the product you provide, the service you provide, the coaching you provide, or the consulting you provide, right? It solves that problem for people. And you create content that is based on your authority to be able to do that. You capture your audience through this content and material, and that creates a demand flywheel, which brings them into your ecosystem, gets them to trust you, where you then can convert them from prospect to client. You do so by designing an offer that demonstrates to them that whatever product, whatever service, whatever consulting program you have helps them to achieve their ideal dream outcome, right? And you create a value ladder that demonstrates to them each of the elements of the offer you're providing, whether it be your service, whether it be your product, whether it be your consultation, that helps them to make sure that they are ensured to get the dream outcome that they get with your product or with your service in less time than they would do it on their own, and with a higher order of magnitude of certainty that they're going to get it, right? You have a sales systems in process and in place that gets them what their dream outcome is, and it sells them on it. It shows them that if they were to continue on their own, right, the likelihood of them achieving their dream outcome or getting what they want without your product or without your service. And you help them to understand they need whatever it is you are offering in order to achieve what it is they want. You also structure the sales system in order to be able to convert those prospective people that you bring in through your authority content to be able to sell them on it and get them into your system to be able to have them become paying customers. Once you get them into your fulfillment system, it's all about figuring out how long does it take to be able to achieve the dream outcome, how long to be able to deliver the product, how long to educate them on being able to effectively use the product, how long does it take to get them the transformation you promised and that they paid for, right? Do you have a delivery infrastructure in place that has systems in place to be able to deliver and fulfill on that offer consistently, not delivering something different to each client, but something consistent so that you can repeat it over and over again and train others to be able to eventually deliver that same transformation as a part of your business? Do you have the ability, once you are able to help people succeed and achieve their dream outcome, to be able to help them achieve that client success and record and document it in the form of proof to be able to use to pump right back in to the beginning of that attraction system, right? Using proof to be able to demonstrate your authority. And here we have a system with three engines that run: our attraction system, our conversion system, and our fulfillment system. That is what every successful business needs. It does not matter if it is a hot dog stand or a multi-million-dollar hedge fund. Each operates along the same principles. Now, I want you to take a step back and imagine your business 12 months from now, where you have new leads entering overnight while you sleep. People understand what you do by consuming your content. You're known out there. Your reputation is known. Your sales follow a structure. You're not chasing growth, but you're compounding it, right? You're creating that authority-based content that generates leads. Those leads bring people into your ecosystem so you can make them an offer and be able to close them on it. You bring them in as clients and you help them to secure those results that you have promised through your fulfillment systems. That demonstrates proof that then builds authority for you to create content on. This is the Cap Builders flywheel. Now, I want you to understand and take a look at where you might fit on this path and on this journey. Every founder sits on this path and on this journey. Now let's take a look at it and we'll go through it from the beginning to the end, or not to the end, but the new beginning, right? The new beginning of scaling, which is where we all want to get. When you start out as a freelancer, your revenue is inconsistent, you have no lead systems, and the transformation you offer is unclear. So it makes it difficult to consistently make sales. Eventually, you grow and you're able to build that lead system out. And so you have those leads, but your sales are inconsistent. And your delivery and fulfillment is exhausting because it is not consistent. There's not a system for it. Eventually, if you do things right and you begin to learn and build, your revenue will start to grow. But the founder is overloaded, even if he is building his own system and he has a fulfillment system in place, because those systems are incomplete. You begin to build, once you establish those systems, once they're in place, you get to the place where you can actually begin to scale and grow and build your business to the levels that you want to be able to bring more people onto your team, to be able to scale to the revenue that you would like to get to, right? Because you have predictable lead flow, your sales are structured, and your delivery is systematized, right? Point to where you are in here. Our goal is always to move you to the next stage, depending on where you are. And the ideal is to get you to scale and beyond. Now, I want you to choose the path that fits where you are. Depending on where you are in this process, there's a different step that you want to engage in within Cap Builders. Path one, the mini win challenge, right? Let's say you need consistent leads and that's where you are, right? Then you want to install an attraction engine to bring people into your ecosystem, bring leads, qualified leads into your ecosystem so that you can pitch them an offer or clarify your offer, right? To be able to pitch it to your ideal customers and begin to make sales so you can deliver on the transformation that you offer. If you're already doing this and you have plenty of leads, right, but your growth feels chaotic, then you should book a roadmap call with me so we can diagnose which engine is broken, your attraction engine, your fulfillment engine, or your conversion engine, right? And we can map the fastest path to get you to scale. But those of you who don't want to wait and want that transformation now, right, then you need to qualify and you need to meet and qualify with me for Cap Builders Ascend, where we get you the fastest transformation with the largest impact, the fastest possible. And you'll apply to get the entire 3-engine business operating system installed in your business within 90 days to get you to scale as quickly as possible. If you're tired of running a high-stress freelance job and want to build a real business, join my free Skool community today. That's where we actually build and install these systems into your business together.